Good morning, welcome. We are taking it one step at a time. There's no need to hurry.
Hey!
But come on, man. Welcome. It's a midweek edition of your favorite Numero Uno breakfast show.
Indeed. It's not a struggle on this show. Neither is it a chore for us to come here every morning and wake you up with appropriate cheer.
Hey, you want to pick up that song for me?
What?
One step at a time.
Take one step at a time.
Yeah.
There's no need to rush.
Hey,
It's like learning to fly. Look at
Falling
you.
in love. Hey, how did that?
You better let's move on.
Where is it? That was Jordan Sparks,
Jordan
right?
Sparks,
Wonderful.
yes.
I love that song. But hey, come on.
At a time.
Definitely. We make merry and we make beautiful moments here on the show. Now, this morning will be no exception. It's another edition. Stay with us.
Yeah, so what are your dreams, really? As you strive to make them your reality, we will be right there with you every step of the day.
From 7.
And of the way, too.
Definitely. From 7 to 8:45. We'll begin it. And yeah, Titi is already with her, what do I call
Morning
it
coffee.
now? That's
Hi guys. Good
So there's-
morning.
There's different levels of coffee. I am on the level of just there. It is on the level of bandit.
Wow.
It's a
Coffee,
bandit.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm
really?
sure that thing she's in there. It's coffee. Not like it's not coffee,
It's
but
coffee.
it's not coffee for babes or
The
something
the
strong.
highest consumed beverage in the world. Coffee. Yes, that's what it is. Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Halfway through the week. Hopefully, it's been going well for you. There's still a little bit more to come. Don't worry, we'll get through it together.
Definitely.
All right.
My name is Mike Messikeno.
And my name is Mary Bashua Alimi. Now, you can stream the show live at TVC Entertainment.tv on Facebook at TVC Connect, okay?
Yep, watch us on GOTV, channel 27. And on the ultra high frequency, that's terrestrial band, it's 49.
You can also download the TVC app on both Android and iOS stores, okay? That's a good way to carry us anywhere you go.
And follow us on all social media platforms. Let's get straight to what we have for you this morning. We'll kick off with nutrition.
Lola Jimo. Yes, that's our nutritionist. So we'll be having a conversation soon with her. Can't wait for that one.
And then we move on to hair tips. DIY, she's been here for what? Since the year, even before the year started. Only on Honoring Day. Okay. Hair and beauty consultant, CEO of Ewa Beauty Store. She will be here once again.
And then we have a musical performance from Schoolboy Hope. He'll be performing a song from his first EP project titled Ugly Hope.
And on relationship, communication, that's what we're talking about. How important is it? Why is communication a must? And we have Olaiwola Abiola, mental health counselor, to talk to us on that one.
Right after that, we'll be having a chat with Mano Ezo, a musician, also known as Mano Michael. That's one of my favorite songs.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazing Grace. I love that. I love it.
Who's the writer again? Skip my mind just right now.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most. I think it was one of the songs for Pilgrim Progress. Well, anyways, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good morning.
Wonderful Wednesday morning. And January, how far? Is the Jinx walking? Is it moving fast? Is it slow for you? How's it like for
I
you?
told you guys that this month
me,
is slow. You
It's
guys
slow
are
for
saying
you.
it's
No,
fast.
yeah. So like I said, it depends on what you're doing on the state of your finances. That also impacts on how
It's
fast and how
not
slow
about my finances.
the
It's
months.
more of, like, I just realized that 5 Sundays.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
I was on radio on Sunday, as you know, and then there's a particular segment when I give inspirational quotes, and I actually say what time of the month it is, and I
Yeah.
realized 3rd Saturday, and we
Yeah.
still had like 2 more to go.
So,
3rd Sunday rather, and 2 more to go. I was like, what?
so
Like-
it's all about finding some kind of balance between trying to plan for stuff and getting stuff done.
Yes.
When you've started getting things done, it feels like everything is moving fast. But if you've been procrastinating, but there's something in your brain that starts activating when it's almost close to the deadline, like end of the month, when you know you're going to pay salaries, when you know you have bills and everything. So your mind will start working. Don't worry, even if you've been a little slow, don't worry. We know everything is going to start speeding up very soon.
And talking about paying salaries, You know, we underestimate the fact that when you take someone off the streets, give the person a job, we underestimate the impact we're making with that. There's so many people who are paying people's bills directly and indirectly. And honestly, I must give a shout out to you. I'm very sure it cannot be easy taking care of your family, taking care of so many people. I tell people bachelors have more responsibilities than married people. Because married people, they leave you, they say, that one don't get wife. But bachelor, go and meet up with this thing, does not have responsibility.
Wow.
And that's what usually happens. I know Mike can relate to that.
So you bachelors
He's
out
Uncle
there.
Mike when it comes to money.
You bachelors out there, how's it like for you?
Wow.
How's the plan? Because
Okay, eligible bachelors maybe.
more of you, how is it like for you?
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. We begin in London, where the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, says the electoral body has concluded a policy on diaspora voting. Professor Yakubu stated during a presentation at Chatham House in London on the topic Nigeria's 2023 elections, preparations and priorities for electoral integrity and inclusion. He expressed hope that the legal obstacles preventing foreign-based Nigerians from voting will be cleared eventually. He noted that the federal government had in 2017 put the number of Nigerians in the diaspora at 17 million, but more citizens have since left. The INEC chairman spoke on the commission's progress as they prepare for next month's general election.
With every election for the last 3 electoral cycles, we also make provision for the possibility of a presidential runoff in case it happens. If it happens, then we'll have no issues. And this year is no exception. Fortunately, the time frame has also been extended. The 4th alteration to the Constitution has extended it by 2 more weeks, so it's now 3 weeks instead of the 1 week we had before. We decided in one of the elections to change the configuration of the polling units by bringing the ballot papers closer to the ballot boxes, the voting cubicles, the ballot box close to the voting cubicles, in order to curtail the distance that they travel between the time they make their choice in the cubicles to the point they drop the ballot papers in the ballot boxes.
Moving on, the APC has taken its presidential campaign rally to Kwara State, where party supporters gathered to show solidarity for the presidential candidate of the party. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu assured the crowd of his desire to make Nigeria great again if elected. Ola Awakon has more details.
Take your PVC out. Today we are just celebrating freedom. We are reassessing and reasserting our freedom in a democracy. Yesterday, you have all the rumors that today will not happen, but it's happening in your lifetime. We thank you for believing in Ramanu Abrazaki.
Ladies and gentlemen, Party Faithful, I urge you to support and vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The progress we have in this state, the progress we've been having, will continue with that progress. He is going to bring so many things to Kwara State. Believe in him. We want to thank him for the support he gave us in 2019. He gave us full support, and we succeeded in throwing the termites that...
To foreign news now, reports say that the co-pilot of the ill-fated flight that crashed in Nepal on Sunday lost her husband in a plane crash 16 years earlier. Anju Katiwada was co-piloting Yeti Airlines Flight 691 when it smashed into a gorge near the tourist town of Pokhara, killing all on board in the country's worst air disaster in 30 years. Her husband, Deepak Pokhrel, had also been co-piloting a Yeti Airlines flight when he died, and it was his death that spurred Anju to pursue a career in aviation. Distraught at her loss, alone with their young children, Anju's grief became her motivating force. Sadly, she lost her life as well. And that's it on the news update for this hour on Wake Up Nigeria. There's so much more to come. Just stay with us.
All right, then, let's take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the newspapers this morning. We're going to be starting with The Punch, and today is Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. Police presence at Emefiele's Abuja home stirs controversy. CBN governor expected to appear in court today over $53 million judgment debt. Police deny arrest move. DSS says deputy governors not quizzed. Beside the masthead there, it says over 500,000 security personnel to man polling booths. Top left, subsidy. Federal government borrowing to import fuel, says minister. $1 billion spent to recover territories seized by terrorists, according to Buhari. And let's see what else we have here. It says, new VC promises to make Unilag Solution Center. And that is the photo story there. It says, National Assembly to OK 22.7 trillion naira debt restructuring on Tuesday. Slain lawyer buried, cleric consoles family. And 13 billion naira drugs, military hardware seized at Lagos Airport. That's what we have on the cover of The Punch. We also have with us the Guardian newspaper this morning. It says, uneasy calm at CBN as officials grapple with integrity issues. CBN, DSS downplay, dismiss Emefiele's arrest saga as speculative. Officials not in DSS custody, Apex Bank insists. And it says integrity of system completely compromised, according to ADI. The story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 6. Right at the bottom, we have this story. Google removes 3.4 billion ads, suspends 5.6 million advertisers in Nigeria and others. The business pages have more on that. Now, in the photo story here, I think something really key, the aftermath of the tanker mishap along Apapa-Oshodi Expressway yesterday. The traffic in Lagos was especially epic yesterday. A lot of complaints here and there. Even dispatch riders had a tough time moving around, apparently. It says here, CNPP asked Tinubu Atiku to withdraw from presidential race over alleged misdeeds. Senate demands details of 23.7 trillion naira CBN facility to federal government. And crisis in Abia, PDP over Ikonne's absence. It also says here, we'll soon name our preferred presidential candidate, Wike declares. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian. I do believe we have time for the Daily Trust. It says here, Boko Haram, we spent $1 billion to retrieve territories, according to Buhari. It says terrorism financiers want to split Nigeria. Page 4 has more information. Nigeria to raise 400 billion naira per month through bond sales. It also says here, UN ECOWAS warn Nigeria against election violence, and mass resignation hits BBC Hausa. Let's see, we have here INEC to conduct mock accreditation ahead of polls, and on the Paris Club refunds, court summons Emefiele over $53 million judgment debt. And youth burn Niger police station to protest Catholic priest killings. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust. And at this point, we have to take a quick break, but there's still so much more coming your way on Wake Up Nigeria. All righty then. It's Wednesday, guys.
It is.
A lot has
midweek
been going on online as well. The kids are finally back in school, and a lot of parents are a little wary about how they're going to do in the beginning of the year after such a long holiday, you know. But then parents didn't think a few years ago that they had other things to worry about apart from just the educational aspect. Internationally speaking, there have been some articles and comments flying around about the content of what the kids are going to be learning abroad, especially for all you parents who are considering the whole Japa movement. Do you know exactly what your kids are going to be taught in those schools? Have you considered what they're going to be educated on? Now, there was a popular, I'm not sure what he's most well known for, but there was, as an influencer, he put out quite a few statements.
Yeah.
Statements. This is statements. These are not just nuggets here on the fact that he is very discouraged about what's happening in the education system abroad, and he doesn't think people should impose certain ideals and morals on his own children. So do you think at this point we as parents are not doing enough? That's my question.
You know, even bringing it home to Nigeria, the government said that parents and leaders in religious settings should take up the job of educating their children when it comes to sex education. And so it's become a case of taking things out of school that parents should take responsibility for.
Okay.
But in a situation where parents have no control, when it's being put in the syllabus that your child should learn gender fluidity or learn certain things that you're not comfortable with, then that is a problem. And so that's what he's talking about. He doesn't want his children exposed to that. Like, let my child grow normally. I've said this before. If I knew about transgender as a child, and I've never hidden this fact, I would probably have changed to a man. That's how desperate I wanted to be a boy. If I knew about transgender, I would be a man now. But here I am, and I have no regrets. And so when you bring it home, I believe children should be allowed to grow normally. Even if they have that tendency, allow them grow. Don't force it down their throat.
What's up, bro?
How you doing, man?
Yeah,
How
bro.
you doing?
No,
That very statement just took me over.
you did?
So I was just like, okay, no, this is the one, this is your said and this one. Like, oh, that, you can still do it.
No, but the truth is,
I
our
decided,
orientation and how we are raised has a lot to do
Also, for me, the
with
first
who we
thing
are
first,
today.
you know, there are different ways when you are, how are you teaching these children? Are you giving them knowledge of what is happening?
Exactly.
So I think when schools or extracurricular bodies or groups mention this thing, I would assume, and that is not trying to say that my assumption is right, that they are teaching them based on knowledge level, giving them knowledge, and they do need it. Do you understand? If it's just knowledge. You are not trying to say that, look, you should, you are not encouraging them, but you are saying that this is there, this is there, this is possible. So if it is if it's on the basis of knowledge, I have no problem with teaching a child something if you want him to know, because
There's also the problem of age.
no, there's something you have to understand, yeah? Look, you've come to a point where on their own, because they have the internet, there's a lot of things they learn on their own. So it is better that they are supervised, or they learn that in a supervised environment.
Okay,
Because
so
all this is you're saying, the moment a child can pick up a tab or a phone or any device that can connect to the internet, and what age? The moment they can access the internet, and that means that they can access, in quotes, all knowledge.
Understood. But the thing is, as parents, we can still do what we can to sort of streamline what our kids have access to on the internet. And most parents these days are doing that.
Parental control.
We do what we can. There are parental controls. In school, you expect the parental controls to be in full force. You expect a wall. You don't expect the definition of marriage in
But let's be
civic,
really serious.
in a class. Definition of marriage is no longer just between a man, a husband and a wife. It could also be a wife and a wife, or a husband and a husband. That is the new definition they're trying to put in schools.
It is not a definition, it is what it is. I said teaching them based on knowledge. They should know. You're not encouraging them to do it. It is what it is. There are places around the world where these things are allowed. So you're telling them, look, okay, this is this because it happens here. Knowledge.
Now, Mike,
you get where I'm
I appreciate your angle. Again, I choose to defend. Here's why. Yes, it is a case of all for knowledge and all, but there are certain things you should not know at certain ages.
Yeah.
Get to, if they were teaching it in high school, for example, it's understandable. But you cannot be teaching a preschooler or somebody in grade 1 to 5 about all of these
They
things.
remember themselves.
The children are still learning.
And by the way, without parental control, forget it. They know how to.
No,
go
they
around
know
it.
that we already know.
So don't even think in school at home, the parental controls, you could be controlling you as a parent.
You are very
They have their own, they are
But
controlling the
we
world.
would love to hear your
my
contribution on this
goodness.
particular matter. It is a delicate one, but we would love to hear your thoughts. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
All right, so welcome to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria. This morning's breakfast, it looks really easy. It looks pretty simple. However, it just might be a bit complicated if you miss one step or two. So it's good to keep your eyes glued to the screen. Our chef today is Chef Lucky of Kaizen Chefs. It's so good to have you in the video with us.
Thank you so much, man.
Fantastic. So what's for breakfast?
We're going to make a black burger today.
Black burger.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you've tried so many burgers. Have you ever tried a black burger? Tell us about what we'll be making use of, and then we'll finally talk about why it is black.
Burger.
Okay.
Okay, today we're going to make black burger. Then we have, this is the black burger.
Okay.
This is my homemade beef for the black burger.
Homemade?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is hot chili sauce.
Okay.
Then this is my homemade burger toppings also.
Okay,
And this
okay.
is mayonnaise.
Okay.
And this is ketchup.
Okay.
And this is lettuce,
Okay.
onion. I'm going to make use of almond oil because of flavor.
Because I was wondering, it's so clear. I almost took this out. I thought it was an empty bowl. Then I saw that, okay, there's some liquid in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's almond oil.
Yeah.
Okay. So how come this bread is so black?
No, long time ago, Burger King came up with something like a black burger.
Okay.
And it has not been popular, but most people like it because it has this natural taste.
When you say natural, is bread not bread?
Bread is bread, but there's a flavor that's added to it and a food color that's added to it. That's why it's called black burger.
Okay, because I wonder, if I saw, when I saw it, the first thing that came to my mind is, okay, what kind of chocolate is this with sesame seeds all over it? Because it does have that look. But then you look at it closely and you realize it is bread. Yeah. What makes it different from others?
One is the recipe that we use for it is different from every other burger bread.
Okay.
That's what makes it different. Okay. Two, the taste of it is very different from every other burger.
Okay, but did you make this one yourself?
I make this burger myself.
You made it yourself?
Yes.
Could you just quickly run us through how you
Okay,
make it?
what we have here, we have flour.
Okay.
We have sugar.
Okay.
We have butter or salted butter.
Okay.
Inside. Then we have almond, grated almond inside.
Okay.
Then we have oil also inside, vegetable oil inside. Then we have water inside.
Okay.
They'll mix all together. They'll allow it to prove. Then once it's proved, you wash it with egg. Then you add your sesame seeds up on it.
Okay. Can you slice it through? I'd like to see what it looks like inside. I'm very curious about this. So is it the food coloring that then gives you the black color?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the food coloring.
Yes.
Oh, just look at that. My gosh. No wonder it's not so popular. It's so black. Does it leave coloring on your teeth?
No, not at all.
Are you sure?
That's why we make use of food coloring.
Okay.
It's different from every other color.
Because when you see this, it's so black. It looks like charred bread, like burned bread. My goodness. So when you have this, you then put all your toppings in it. What's the rest of the process? What are we going to do with it?
No, the first thing we're going to do now, we'll put our non-stick on fire.
Okay.
Then we'll add our almond oil.
Okay.
Then we're going to toast this bread.
We are still going to toast this brown bread.
Yes.
I said brown, black
Black
bread.
yes.
Do you know, I was actually going to ask you that. Is there a need to still toast it? And then you just answered my question.
We want it to be crunchy while eating it.
See, one of the things I love about the show is you learn a lot of new things, see a lot of new things, and this one is definitely one I cannot wait to see what the end result will be. Right now, however, we've got to take a break. When we return, we have more for you on Wake Up Nigeria. Just stay with us.
Welcome back. Today on nutrition, we are having a conversation with Iwalola Jimo, public health specialist, nutritionist, and an avid sports lover. I like that. I like that when females love sports. Now, she promotes sports extensively. That's talking about for adolescents, for women, and all of that. And today we're talking about sports for adolescents or nutrition.
Adolescent nutrition.
Adolescent nutrition, right? Wonderful. First of all, just to clear up everybody, who's an adolescent?
An adolescent is a person between the ages of 10 and 19. That's by the World Health Organization, standard. But then when you look at various societies, this varies from from about 9, sometimes to about 20, 21. But most times people assume that people who are teenagers are adolescents. But the key thing is it marks a period where there's a lot of change in terms of physiological changes, neurological changes, psychological changes, and a person is moving from childhood into adulthood.
Adulthood. So that's a very crucial stage in a child's life. Now, how important is it for a child at that particular point to have the right nutrition?
Very, very important. And the reason why I say so is because during adolescence is when a lot of young people pick up different habits. You know, habits of indulging in alcohol, smoking, and, you know, binging on foods, and sometimes not even taking adequate food, enough food to meet their physical needs. And because this is a period where they're undergoing a lot of changes in their body, they're growing. For the girls, they're starting their, you know, they're going through puberty, they're starting their menstruation. It's a period when they're supposed to have an adequate diet to meet not only their physical needs, but also their physiological needs. And also, it's also a period where if you've missed something about the nutrition of your child during childhood, you can try and correct so that the child grows into a better adult, a healthier adult, and a more physically active adult.
So coming from how a lot of us grew up, we didn't see anything different. We just ate the normal food. The only difference we saw was in quantity. Maybe the older you go, the more quantity you are given, because I know. But let's get into it. What kind of food should an adolescent actually take? How should they ration their food, or how should it all be done?
Now, the truth is, you know, it's not as if an adolescent is supposed to be on a special diet.
Okay.
You're supposed to also be on an adequate diet to meet your physical needs and your psychological needs. I mean, I always say something that your food is meant to bring you joy. You're not supposed to sit to eat food and then you're miserable. For adolescents, they're going through a lot of psychological changes, and it's important to give them food that meets their physical needs. And you know, it's also during adolescence that people start engaging in sports a lot, and so their physical needs go up. So an adequate diet for an adolescent will be that which meets the physical need, and then the fact that the child is also changing, growing. There's a lot of physiological growth in the body, and so the bones are, you know, elongating, the person is growing taller. So you should also have adequate protein in the diet to meet all these needs. So this is very, very important. So we're not saying adolescents should be on a special diet. We're saying adolescents should be on a diet that is adequate to meet their emotional needs, their physical needs, and then their psychological.
So people want to be a bit more practical. Can you give us maybe in a week or in a day what this diet should or can look like?
So for example, an adolescent is supposed to eat at least 3 main meals. When I say 3 main meals, your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. And then you're supposed to have healthy in-between meals. So for example, instead of the meat pie, sausage, you can have your roasted plantain in between. So for example, you wake up in the morning, you need to take your breakfast, you can take moi moi, and then you can take pap with it. That is kind of balanced.
I had that kind of breakfast.
Or you can take your bread and egg, and then that would be maybe like around 8 or 9, and then around 11, you take a healthy snack. That could be an apple, it could be an orange, you know, a fruit in the season. And then in the afternoon, you have your rice and beans, or you have your swallow and vegetables. But what we're saying is when you want to take your lunch or any food, as a matter of fact, your plate should be 50% vegetables and fruits. Wow. And then the other 50%, you now divide it into 2. You have your carbohydrates, and then you have your protein. And so for your, you know, I've talked about your breakfast, I've talked about the midday snack, and I've talked about lunch. And so in the evening around 4 or 5, you can have something like peanuts, groundnuts, you know, cashew nuts, and then you can also have a fruit along with it. And then at night, which would be like 6, 7, then you have your dinner. So what we're saying is, for every main meal that you take, 50% of that should be vegetable.
So there's this talk now about people who differ on which meal of the day should be probably the heaviest. We'll talk about it should be lunch. So we'll talk about it should be breakfast and all of that. But I know a number of us growing up, sometimes for some people it's even dinner that is so heavy. Does that in any way impact on growing on an adolescent, the weight of the meal. Maybe, some people, like you said, okay, baby bread in the morning. Well, how about people that take eba? Wake up and say, because they want, in quote, strength for the day. Maybe they're trying to do something strenuous, and then they're saying, okay, if I take eba in the morning, it's going to be good. Does that make sense in any way for nutritional needs for an adolescent?
The truth is, it's really advisable that your breakfast is heavy, because that is what will provide most of the energy you're going to need to do your work for the day. So if, for example, you're a bricklayer or you're a farmer or something, you need a lot of carbohydrates that will give you the energy for the day. And so if you take a bar or you take pounded yam or you take rice, that's absolutely okay. But then what we're saying is, when you have that plate, 80% of it is not supposed to be carbohydrates. It is 50% that is supposed to be carbohydrates. That should be the carbohydrates.
Exactly.
And so the remaining 50% is still your, vegetables and fruit. So, I mean, the breakfast is advised. Most times we advise because you need what you get from your breakfast to run for the day. So it's advisable for that is heavier. And then your lunch can also be a little bit heavy. But then because when you're going to sleep, you're not going into a war, you're not going to run. So, I mean, your dinner can be a bit light.
It should.
Yeah, compared to the other two meals of the day.
Thank you so much. That was quite, instructive. I hope people there have learned something so that they know how best the nutritional needs are for adolescents. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, okay, so hope you're able to pick something out. Now, let's head over, hopefully, the nutrition out there that Mary is putting together. Mary, what you guys are doing, is this something that, so we can take this for breakfast, right?
Yes, now, you can take burger for breakfast.
Burger.
I'm not quite sure the nutritionist will be impressed by that. So you better not let her hear you. Just keep it to yourself. We'll talk about it later. All right, welcome again to the kitchen. Chef Lucky is in the studio with us, and he's preparing breakfast for us, black burger. If you're wondering which one is black burger, it's not burned bread, though, even though it looks like it, but it's not burned bread. It's actually black bread. And earlier, he shared the process of making this, okay? So if you missed it, you can always play back on YouTube much later, okay? All right, so this is the bread. We sliced it, and we've toasted it a bit. I think we could put the next batch as well. Okay. Yeah, so we toasted the bread a bit, so it's ready for us to pile it up. We've also fried, will I say fried or pan-seared, one of the patties. So this patty is ready. We're going to put in the other one. So let's get that done now. What's the first thing we're doing to put it? Okay, so we're going to fry the next one. Yeah. Okay. So that will fry.
Almond oil.
A lot more almond oil, okay. All right. I've never tried almond oil.
Try it.
I see it in the stores, but I've never tried it. I think I'll try it.
Okay.
I'm very curious about how it will turn
out.
Okay. Black and white. Okay.
So your burger can be creamy.
Okay.
So always ask your customer how he wants it.
Always ask.
Yeah, very, very
Shawarma
important.
makers in Nigeria just left the group. Okay.
So after that, I'm going to add a little of ketchup.
Just little?
Yeah.
Why just a little? Some of us like it.
I don't want it to be too sweet.
Sweet,
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Then I have my hot chili sauce.
Okay, so this is sweet and hot at the same time. Yeah. Okay. Then what goes in?
Then go to the tomatoes.
Okay. How many?
Can
Four.
Use 4.
Could use 5.
Yeah.
Okay, depends. Then
I'm going to have my lettuce.
Lettuce in.
Please always remember to wash your lettuce very well. It's very, very important.
Okay. Lettuce usually have sand in them if you don't clean them well. Right. So you don't want to have this delicious meal and the next thing, nah, that would be nasty.
I'm going to have my topping.
Yes, this is the secret sauce. Chefs always have their secret sauce. But you can guess or you try to make yours as well. Who knows? Okay. So, there you go. And then comes the party.
So that was there.
Okay. This looks yummy. So if I'm feeling adventurous, can I pile in more than one party?
Yes, they call it Big Mac.
Big Mac, when you do the piling, right?
Yes.
Okay.
To be as high as this.
Okay, okay.
So after that, this is your bread also.
You have to use this, okay. Why not this and this as you did with the bottom?
Because the bread is creamy already, so this one just has to be sweet.
Okay, okay. And then you put that in. And it's picture perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
My goodness. Oh my gosh, I'm actually looking forward to the photo at the end of the show when we take this, you know, snap it and then show you what it looks like on social media. I'm pretty sure you'd like to see that as well. Just look at it. It's so nice. Black burger. Okay, we'll get on with making the next one. But right now, however, we've come to the top of the hour. We still have 45 minutes on the other side. Stick with us. This is Wake Up Nigeria. What's up? Hey, this hand is hard, though.
Marvin, how you doing, Marvin?
My name is not Marvin. My name is Mario.
Mario, yo, Mario, what's up?
I'm alright.
What's up, G?
I'm
Yes, sir. Well, hey, come on. If you were here for the first half of the show, you would understand that. If you don't understand it, next time tune in from 7 a.m. up until 8:45.
With the way Mike's hand is so hard, I'm glad I chose to stay female.
Well, we have another 45 minutes left for you. It's going to be a wonderful show. Thank you for being a part of the show. Let's get straight to what we have in store for the second lap of the show. We'll kick off with
well,
DIY.
I think we have DIY, yes. Oyin Onori Day will be giving us a DIY this morning. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something that will interest you. It's always something exciting to learn on the show every week.
See how the hair is making her fine.
Look at you.
But yeah, that's it. DIY will be showing us how to make a scalp scrub to lighten and cleanse the scalp.
Yes.
I want something for my face. Lagos sun has done me something.
Oh gosh. Then of course we have a musical performance from Schoolboy Hope, an Afrobeat R&B artist, and he's going to be performing something from his first EP project, which he dropped in 2022. It's titled Ugly Hope. Can't wait for that one.
And then communication is a must in every relationship, whichever kind of way. Olaiwola Abiola will be here to talk to us about that one.
Right after that, we'll be having a chat with Mano Ezo, a musician also known as Mano Michael. We can't wait for that one. I like that one. Okay.
And it's time for DIY. We've been having a blast on our DIY segments over the past few weeks. Why? Because Oyi Onoride has been here with us. Especially for us ladies, we've been having a really informative time with her. She's been giving us insights into how to better take care of our hair. Right. She has one of her secret sauce again she has brought here to come and show us how to make. So Oyi, welcome back.
Thank you, Titi.
What are we making today?
Okay, so we're going to be making our own scalp scrub today.
Scalp scrub.
Scalp scrub, hair scrub, anyone.
Hair scrub. Okay, so I know about skin scrub.
Right.
I know about facial scrub.
Right.
Hair scrub?
Yes.
Explain.
Yes, it's really, very important for us to, scrub our scalp. Just the way we, exfoliate our skin, just to remove out all the dead, skin cells on our skin. Same thing also goes with the scalp. There are so many build-up that can build up on your scalp, due to the environment and things like that. Okay. A dry scalp, you could have dandruff.
Hope you don't mind if I tip your head forward, okay?
And things like that. I know, there are some ladies that complain that the color of their scalp is different from the color of their skin. So that is as a result of you not scrubbing your scalp. So
for those that don't understand what we mean by scalp, we're talking about the skin under the hair. The hair.
Yes.
And some people do have maybe darker skin.
Right. Some people have darker skin. Yeah. Their scalp can be a little bit darker, due to the sun exposure and things like that. A little bit darker than their skin. So now, you need to give your scalp scrubbing, just to exfoliate out all those dead skin. Okay. So that the real color of your scalp can actually pop out.
So this is homemade.
Right.
And you have certain ingredients, right?
Right.
It's made by your company, that's Ewa Beauty, right?
Yes, correct.
But what is in this? Okay,
so this is a coconut scrub.
Okay.
So in here I have coconuts. I have my 3 spoons of coconut oil.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have 2 spoons of natural honey.
Okay.
I have 2 spoons of apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
And that's about it. And now we're going to add
go ahead.
5 drops of our tea tree oil.
Tea tree oil. So let me
Right.
go over that again. You have honey in here. You have, go ahead.
Yes, we have honey.
You have coconut oil. 1, 2, 3,
Three,
4,
four,
5.
five.
Okay, got
Right.
you. Honey, coconut oil, apple cider vinegar. That combination feels a bit harsh. I don't know, doesn't it feels a bit harsh.
Yes, that's why you need to follow, the measurements.
Okay.
So you can't just, take coconut, take tea tree oil and things like that and start pouring things up.
Okay.
You could do a lot of damage to your scalp or to your skin.
Okay.
So there are some, certified, measurement that you need to follow.
How many spoons of honey in here?
You need to use 2 spoons of honey.
2 spoons of honey.
Right.
Coconut oil, how many spoons?
3 spoons of coconut oil.
Okay.
And that's because of our tea tree oil. You can't just add tea tree oil on, on a formula. You need to break it down a little bit with coconut oil.
So should I stir this?
Yes.
All right, let me stir this.
Give it a little bit stirring.
Okay, I can see another bottle there on the table. What is
Right.
that bottle?
Okay, so this is our hair serum. Just the way, there are a lot of vitamin C serum in the market. So you need to also make use of serum on your hair as well.
Okay.
So like after we do this scrubbing and then we cleanse off the scrubbing on our hair with shampoo and conditioner, then you need to dry and then add
The serum after.
the serum after on the lines of your scalp.
I'm seeing lemon, or is this lime?
Yes, this is lemon.
This is lemon. What are we
Right.
doing with the lemon?
Okay, so for me, what I usually do for me to get the best of results, I first of all take some few pieces, slices of lemon,
Yeah.
and then I use it to scrub a little bit on my scalp,
Okay.
just
You
to
wanna,
get
you want to
right.
do that? Do you mind if we do that today? You do? Go ahead.
All right. So I'm just gonna take a little bit. I
Okay.
squeeze the
lemon.
juice
Ooh.
in the scalp.
Must feel cold, huh?
Right. So I scrub a little bit on my scalp.
That's all.
I let it go all the way through to my hair, and then I let it soak in for about 10 minutes. I rinse off, with, I could use wipe in this case, but,
Okay.
if I'm in the comfort of my home, I could use water, and just clean off after 10 minutes, clean off the scalp with this before I apply my scrub.
Okay. So when applying the scrub, I can see you have a brush
Right.
here. How are we applying it?
Okay.
Is it to the edges or where are we?
Yeah, to the cuticles
Okay.
of the scalp.
Go ahead.
So I just take a little bit, I soak in my brush. I like to do this, it makes it easier for me. And I just apply
To the scalp.
to the scalp. And after applying to the scalp, I just take my hand, and just try to scrub, gently and mildly on the scalp. So I let it stay in for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then I rinse off with my shampoo and my conditioner, and I'm good to go with my scalp scrubbing.
All right. So are you comfortable? Just nod yes or no. Are you comfortable? You're not feeling any tingling, anything like that? Okay. All right. Fantastic.
Right.
Because the combination of ingredients does, it's something that
Does wonders to the scalp. Right.
Okay. So now the 2 oils, coconut oil and
The tea tree oil.
tea tree oil combined. I love the way that smells. The
Right.
only one I was worried about was the apple cider vinegar.
Yes, so the apple cider vinegar, the reason why we had to have that is because, it helps to maintain the pH in the scalp.
Okay.
So all the other ingredients doesn't become too harsh on your skin. So we, tend to put that a little bit and, spice
balance
it
it
up
out.
to balance the equation.
Okay, all right then. So the fragrances that are coming up to me now are the tea tree oil and, of
Right.
course, the apple cider vinegar. As long as you get that right, it's not too alarming.
Right.
But, there was, back in the day, they used to just tell us to put egg in our hair. Does that still work?
Yes, that still works. That's more of steaming.
Okay.
So you could put the yolk in the egg, with mayonnaise.
So we shouldn't be adding it to this one?
No, this is a different kind of scrub.
All right.
So, there are a lot of scrubs that you could do. It just depends on the texture or the kind of hair that you have. So, practically, this kind of scrub is very wonderful for dry scalp.
Okay.
So, if you have a dry scalp, you have dandruff, you feel your scalp is not, it's too dark. So, you could, try out this coconut scrub.
All right. We definitely will be trying it out. I have something new to try in my house. And I
Right.
have 2 models at home, my
Right.
children. I'm glad we have this particular example now.
Right.
But after doing this, how long should I wait before scrubbing again? Is it a week, 2 weeks, a month?
It depends on, how, what you're trying to achieve. So like someone like Catherine now, her scalp is beautiful, her scalp is healthy. She doesn't really need too much of, this all the time. Yeah. But for someone like, there was a time I had a dark scalp. I had to apply time to time, let's say like twice in a week, just to get what I want. And my scalp is beautiful.
All right. So maybe you know someone who's been going through some issues with their scalp. Maybe they've been having flaky scalp. You might want to recommend this for them. Thank you so much, Catherine. I'll see you on eSplash later. And thank you so much, Oyin, for joining us.
Thank you for
Check out
having me.
Ewa Beauty Store as soon as you can. She'll be giving some more tips right there. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria.tvc when you try it and show us a video. We'll be back after this.
Thank you for staying with us. Now we have relationship and we're talking. I know it's cliche, people talk about how important communication is, but Olaiwola Abiola is here today. And let's see from an expert view how important communication is in any kind of relationship. It's great to have you. You're welcome.
Good to be here once again. Good morning.
All right. What would you describe, first of all, as communication?
Well, communication in this context, relationship-wise, is about simply the transfer of information from the man to the woman in a way to express your emotions, your feelings, and your needs. And I call it the mother of all bombs, like when it comes about warfare. Because communication is the bedrock. Every other thing stands, rest and falls on. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, as much as people say it has really been quite a problem, it's not so easy to communicate. Maybe due to friction in number of words. People feel they are communicating, but they are not. And then what is communication to one person might not be, to the other. How exactly do you maintain or do you, have a healthy communication in a relationship? Well, I think that what you just said speaks to what we call different communication styles. People have different communication styles. Some people are passive communicators, some are aggressive communicators, some are passive aggressors, and some are assertive communicators. It has been found that the assertive is the healthiest form of communication. When it comes to passive are the kind of people that bottle up their emotions. They don't express whatever they are feeling.
They think we're a wish, so that you should know what is in their mind, right?
They just bottle. They don't seem to know how to say no. But we have people that also are aggressors, aggressive communicators. Aggressive communicators are intense and loud. So they don't care who's also God. I win. It's either my way or the highway. And we also have people that are passive aggressors. These are quote-unquote manipulators because they seem to come across as somebody not necessarily looking for anything per se, but they find a way to control. They can use silence and cold treatment to get their own way. And the assertive ones are people that are in touch with their emotions. They are self-aware, they are self-conscious, and they express their needs with understanding that the person I'm also communicating with also has needs. So they bring your own feelings into consideration while they're expressing their own needs. So I think those are the things that
a number of people would say that if people really want to make it work, if people are really in love with each other, then you don't need to tell them to communicate. That it's something that automatically comes in, when all the cards are right and all of that. Is that so? Do you think that is always the case?
Well, from my own therapeutic experience, I can say to a category it's not true because understandably, when there's no communication, it implies no interest. But it's important to know that we are all conditioned differently. People grow up in different environments. Even our gender, the way man communicates differs from the way woman communicates. So some people naturally, they are probably introverted people. They love their space, they love quietness and things like that. But I tell people, if a relationship must work, it doesn't matter your temperament or personality, you must communicate enough to get your relationship going. Because without communication, there's no oxygen in the relationship as far as the relationship is concerned.
So that means that, yes, exactly what you're saying invariably is that, look, it doesn't matter that you love each other or you decide to make it work. You have to make a very conscious effort to communicate.
An intentional effort to communicate.
To communicate and all of that. Now, in a case of, you mentioned something about aggressive, passive-aggressive and all of that. Based on this, is there any, these different classes, is there any, how are the compatibility issues? Are there, people who say, okay, aggressive might be good, passive-aggressive and aggressive might not be. Is there any way that, or are there, in these groups, are there any ones that have better compatibility than others? Or is it something that, look, anybody can actually make it work, whichever? Aggressive, is it good having such...
What I would say to this is this. See, one of the most important things we must note in relationships that there's need to evolve. At different points in time, depending on the situation you're going through, people switch from one form of communication style to the other. For example, if you're an aggressive communicator, and your partner is setting all hell loose,
the best thing to do at that point in time to be a passive communicator, to just maintain and not. Yes, so that's why.
So emotional intelligence is very important in this particular scenario.
Definitely.
You cannot always want to insist that this is you, and then it's going to cause quite a lot of fights and all that, you know, with both of you and all that. Emotional intelligence, that's very important. And then when you communicate and all of that, wonderful, and all of this does, you know, communication is not there, you know. But would we say it's factual that communication solves everything? Does it?
I tell people, lots of talk about time. Time does not heal anything. It's what you do with time that heals things.
Okay.
So when you talk about communication, communication gives the opportunity to express what actually is going on. But how are you communicating? Because there are non-verbal communication. There's what we also call physical heart, and there's verbal communication. So even if you are communicating, if you're not communicating rightly, you're still going to have issues. So the important thing is to understand, to be self-aware. What am I saying? How am I saying it? What gestures am I giving? What are the cues I'm giving? You may say, I love you. But your physical heart does not show, because action, they say, speak louder than voice.
So that's the thing, communication with that. How important is that one also? Not just words. I mean, communicating with your actions, because you can't, I mean, so some people, they say talk is cheap, talk is easy and all that. But then your actions, how important is it that your actions follow up with what you say?
Very, very important, because when you communicate one thing, let's say by verbal communication, but your body language and your gestures is saying something else, you are confusing your partner. And that brings a lot of confusion, resentment, and bitterness. And before you know it, people are having communication breakdown. And that's why it's important that we must be sensitive, must be aware, and be self-conscious. I would also put our partner in mind. That's what they call empathy. Communicate to, I tell people, listen to your partner when the person is communicating, not to respond. Listen to understand.
I like this. I will pick up on this one. We'll just take a short break. You're still going to be here with us, because this is a major problem. People, they don't listen to understand, they listen to respond.
Just to respond.
This is not just only in romantic relationships, as it were, or spousal and all of that. This is even in work and every other places.
Yeah.
Listening to respond and listening to understand. How important is it? How does one listen? Make it differentiate it for us. Okay. What is the difference between listening to respond and listening to understand what the person is saying?
There's this mantra that says people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So most of the time, people in communication, in any relationship at all, maybe in the workspace or relation, whatever, most of the time people are quick to defend, because when you are listening to people and you are not trying to understand them, because the whole essence of communication is understanding. Because communication is not complete until the receiver of information understands and give you the appropriate feedback. So most of the time, because people already have their mind made up.
Exactly, and the bias, maybe because you feel like, yes.
I just have something to say. But it's in nature itself teaches us that you are supposed to listen as twice as we speak. So we are supposed to listen more. So, but unfortunately, people have this sense of, already when somebody is saying something, already assuming. And that's another thing people need to avoid. You must have an effective communication. You must stop this thing called assumptions. I know what is in your mind even before you say it, and you are preempting the other person. And when you do that, you are not giving the other person the opportunity to express him or herself. You know, in relationship, we tell people that there must be what we call psychological safety and emotional safety. It's a situation where I'm free to hear what is in my head. I'm free to hear what I'm thinking and what I feel. But when I don't have that kind of opportunity in my relationship, I'm just stifled. What happens is that the person keeps bottling things up, and at the end of the day, that's what we call communication breakdown.
I think at every point in time, everybody does come into it, because for communication to occur, it needs two people.
Yeah,
it's not just one person. It takes two to tango, and I've seen this happen. I'm trying to think of relationships whereby these kind of things have happened, and then where it caused this breakdown. Now, but where there is a breakdown of communication and all of that, how does one revive it?
Okay,
number one, like we said, it takes two, but if one person is, in quote, unwilling to, how does one revive?
I would tie it to what we call the negative communication pattern. For example, escalation. When people give create a negative environment, atmosphere, toxic environment, just because they don't want to address it. I tell people, take a step back. Don't always talk with your partner just to win an argument. You don't want to win the battle and lose the war. There's another thing we call negative interpretation. So at times people are already thinking. So if in case you are not getting what your partner is saying, why not ask, sweetheart, if I heard you correctly, you are saying, is this what you mean? You know, when you do that, you're giving the other person the opportunity. We call it reflective listening. So you are telling the person, am I sure I'm hearing what you're saying? And there's another thing.
Are you sure what you're saying is what you actually mean?
Yes, that's another thing. And we also call it validation. People do that a lot. Today has been a terrible day. What your wife or your partner wants you to do, oh, sorry. Validate what she's feeling. It's your fault now. You should have taken your car now instead of taking a public transport. At that point, what the person needs is to validate what they are feeling. Another one is withdrawal and avoidance. People shut down because they don't want to discuss matters and they just withdraw. And so at times people also do what they call avoidance. So all these things are negative communication patterns. So when you understand where you are in that curve, you can now know the right thing to do. So most importantly, I tell people, bring empathy to the table. Put yourself in the shoe of your partner and everything will work out fine.
Just one final question here, and we spoke about arguments. We know that arguments do happen. How important or how does one navigate, argument in a relationship? Because arguments in some ways, it's communication, or maybe it has become feisty in some sort of way, and I feel like it's unavoidable. How does one navigate in such situations?
It's true. Conflict or argument is inevitable in any relationship. So the most important thing to do is to understand that, why am I doing this? Am I doing this to harm or to hurt? So if it's all about passing my need and whatever thing I'm going through, the most important thing is to take a chill pill, listen, do more of listening. Do more of listening. Listen twice as much as you speak. Okay. And every other thing will fall in line.
All right. Thank you so much, Olaiwola Abiola.
It's good to be here.
I don't know how your morning... can you communicate with some burger this morning?
Is that?
Can you communicate with burger?
Burger. Okay.
Do you? Are you sure you can communicate with burger? Is it have something for you in the kitchen?
Okay, thank you so much for that.
We will be back after that and we'll be in the kitchen.
Okay. All right. Welcome again to the kitchen. At this time for... the tasting. Olaiwola Abiola, our relationship expert, will be doing that this morning. And today's chef is Chef Lucky. He's made breakfast, black burger. Please dig in.
Well, this looks nice. Okay.
Dig in.
I think it's better I taste this.
Yes, yes.
First thing anything.
Okay.
Black burger.
Looks amazing, doesn't it?
Now, I have heard of this. I've just never seen it up close.
See it. So
wow.
we cut this up so you can see what's
the
in
inside.
It. Yeah.
So hold it.
I don't understand, Mike. Must you put your nose inside
back,
to see,
Mike.
see what's inside?
Oh, goodness me, Mike. But the inside is also black. It's not just a black crust. I actually thought it was just a black crust.
No, the inside is black. The bread is black.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Well,
Nice.
this tastes nice, actually. I love the filling.
The filling.
Yeah. It's so natural. And at the same time, tastes good. Thank you so much for bringing this to the table. I can take the rest.
Yes,
of course.
So if you're in a relationship,
That's natural. It works.
with the burger.
All right, at this point, we have to say a very big thank you for watching, and of course to the crew and everyone who has been a part of the show. Thank you, Chef Lucky, for breakfast.
So
Yes, all right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a great one, everyone. Bye.